Welcome once again, and over to you, Venus.
Thank you so much, Srithma. Good afternoon, everyone, and good morning to our guest from the UK. First of all, best wishes for the festival season to everyone. And it's a very special session today because I think the category which Haute Dolce is championing, especially in a market like UK and other markets also, is growing at double digits in India. We ourselves at Fran Global have brought in many brands into this category from Europe, from the US, and the cafe market and the dessert cafe market is going through a tremendous change. Anyway, so this is divided into two sectors. So the bigger chains like Starbucks and Tim Hortons and Coffee Bean and Tea Leaf, they are adding hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of stores. So for us, so that's becoming a lifestyle. But a brand like Haute Dolce is building up on that market when you want to treat yourself or your friends or your family, experience, and take that experience back home and share it with the world. And in India, especially when we talk about our main cities of Mumbai, Gurgaon, Delhi, Bangalore, Hyderabad, there are enough people who are looking to experience oriented brand, and Haute Dolce actually is that. They have a great menu, but also when you go to Haute Dolce cafe or a location, you would come out with an experience which you will remember. And India now has, I think earlier my challenge in India was when I was bringing these brands to the country that there were not enough good locations. That, of course, has changed in last 3 to 5 years. We have some good locations where you can open premium brands and people will hawk to those locations. So without further ado, let me welcome Hamza, who is the director of Haute Dolce, who has joined us from the UK, and Stephen, who is the global franchise manager, will share with us, of course, the brand and the journey, and then me and our team will try and translate that into defining the opportunity for India and how do we bring the brand to India as soon as possible. So welcome, Hamza and Stephen.
Hi, good
very
morning.
much,
Good
Peter.
morning, everybody. Good afternoon.
Hi there, everybody.
Stephen, go ahead. It's your so I think let's share the brand.
What I'll do is I'll turn my video off and switch to the screen in a moment. I'm going to introduce the brand and what we stand for. I'll talk about a little bit about our model, and then if we've got time, I can show everybody some elements from our current menu. So let me just share the screen.
We can see it.
Great. Okay, so Haute Dolce is a British brand. We have experience in the dessert market. Over the last 20 years, the Haute Dolce brand has been going over the last 6 or 7 years. One second. Right, so first I'm going to talk about the brand and give you an idea of what we stand for. So very much we're about design, we're about experience. This is one of our stores here. We're about food, we're about fashion, we're about lifestyle, we're about being Instagrammable. So what do we stand for as a brand? Well, our focus is on luxury. It's about giving people the experience of luxury through the food, through the fashion, through the lifestyle they can experience in our restaurants. What we want is to give people a feeling of exclusivity, but allow our business to be inclusive. So we're giving the Instagram experience and the design and the feeling and somewhere people want to show off and enjoy themselves. at the same time as being in mid-premium to mid-pricing rather than being excessively priced or underpriced. We're very much about attention to detail in our recipes, in our local ingredients, in our presentation, in our menus, and about creativity. And that creativity includes working with international partners and franchisees who find ways that we need to adapt our core menu to the local taste where we need to, but also to introduce one or two local flavors and specialities, and to really make the community feel that they're part of this exciting Haute Dolci brand. We are dedicated to perfection, both in terms of how we present our food and the recipes and the way that it's made, but also in the way that we deal with franchisees, we deal with any of our stakeholders and any of our partners. Perfection should go through all the way through the business. So that includes supporting franchisees and giving customers a fantastic experience. Our food is about having indulgent treats that look amazing, that are Instagrammable, that people will dive into a treat today, and then the next time they'll find another treat on the menu, or they'll try one of our desserts with a different topping or a different flavoring. It's very much about coming back to experience Haute Dolci again and again, with all of the different nuances that we offer in the brand. You'll see as we go through looking at some of our stores, we want a design that wows, but at the same time, we want every store to have its own unique flair. So we want, you'll see when you see our designs of the stores, that none of the stores are exactly the same. They're very identifiably the Haute Dolci brand, and anybody walking past any of them will understand it's the Haute Dolci brand. But we want a flair and design that's unique to each store, so that people can identify it as a new Haute Dolci to try, as part of their community, as something that stands out. And you'll see as we go through this that very much we're about the Instagram generation, creating an experience, creating something that's visual as well as tasty, that's a memory and an experience and a high level of service. So that's what the brand stands for. We offer a series of indulgent menus, and the four menus are there. We have the brunch menu, we have the gourmet collection, which is our general food offering. We have the Dolci collection, which is our dessert offering. And then for something special and that extra visual pleasure, we do high teas and we do fondue experiences at Dolci as well. All of our recipes are created, our core menu is created by artisans in the UK. We have a full central kitchen and development team that are developing these recipes, but also they work with international partners to find those recipes, which has got a bit of a local flair as well. And if I move through things quickly enough, I can show you some. I'll show you our current menu at the end of my presentation. Okay, so the brunch collection is, as it says, it's a variety of really visual, really tasty brunch items, croissants and eggs Benedict and avocado and shashuka and all kinds of wonderful things. That would be my favorite. Anything with an egg on top will do me. Thank you very much. Our gourmet collection is our range of burgers, different fries, sliders, chickens, and then adventurous things like salads and full plate items. And again, you'll see that on the menu. The Dolci collection is our desserts. All of those are supposed to be a visual indulgence as well as a taste indulgence, and people can choose from a large range of toppings, and you'll see our menu is very visual. And then we have the high teas and fondues. We can offer all of those menus in larger stores, and in smaller stores we can focus on the brunch and the dessert menu. So we can adapt to different locations and make sure that they're as profitable as possible without necessarily forcing all four of the menus onto each location. So who are we? Where are we? In the UK, we have 20 stores now. You can see them there on the map. And Hamza runs around the UK opening more all the time, and we can't keep up with him. But very successful in the UK. People are enjoying the experience and the visual side of it, as well as the taste of menus. Very happy franchisees, and we're pleased with the development here. There's probably room to double that again in the UK, so we're keeping at that. We have just opened, well, we're about, Hamza, we're about 6 months into Pakistan, something like that, 6 to 8 months in Pakistan. And we're just opening in Kuwait, both of those with international franchise partners.
This is massive, Stephen. This is massive.
Oh well, we like a big store. If we can get the people into the store, we like a big store.
This is where?
We do get people in. So
in Kuwait?
That's Pakistan, isn't it?
Yeah, that's actually Pakistan.
Yeah.
Kuwait
is spending even more money on it, so hopefully theirs is even more splendid. But we'll see when it opens. That should open within a month. Okay, so looking at the stores themselves, again, we're very much about visual, we're about design, we're about, even if somebody comes for a cup of coffee, that they want to be seen, they want to take photos, they want to show their friends the decoration. We have an award-winning international designer that works with us on every single store, and brings that different, unique flavor to each store. So I'll run quickly through a couple of example stores. So this is Birmingham. So I mean, there's a visual design up there. That's an actual store. So that's Birmingham store. And then you can see how that's different from our Trafford restaurant, Trafford Centre restaurant. The Trafford Centre is the #2 shopping mall in the UK. And we are in the most prime position in the Trafford Centre, right at the top of the marble steps. Everybody has to go up to go into the shopping mall. That's our Harrow store. So again, you know, all of the floral themes. A nightmare to dust, but we've worked out ways of doing it. This is our Blackburn store. Again, you can see it has a different flavor. Again, I mean, very much the branding is there. People can identify it, but we want to have those different flavors. So somebody goes to a Birmingham store and they want to go to the O2 London store, and then they want to go to the Mumbai store, and they want to go to the Kuwait store, because every experience is the same quality and the same customer service and the same taste, but there's differences in design, there's differences on the menu. That's our O2 store. And those are some of the major landlords that we work with in the UK, and that's another one of our bigger stores. So I'm running through a little bit because I want to go through the menu with everybody, but let me talk about the business. Well, it's proven before we rolled the business out to franchisees under the Haute Dolci brand. The founder of the business has experience in another very successful brand of dessert. We built Haute Dolci to another brand of dessert. We We proved the model with our own stores. There's 3 or 4 company-owned stores where we've rolled things out and we've tested them again and again. For example, I mean, our Trafford Centre store, I think, is targeting over £2 million of turnover at the moment, and is profitable. We've sustained all of the restaurants all the way through COVID and all of that issue as well. So it's a good, robust, proven business. We can work with any size of store over about 1,800 square foot. But just to give you an idea of 3 different sizes. So a Piccolo store would be in a metro city, a high footfall area, possibly typically at the entrance level of a shopping mall or in a shopping mall, and would have about 60 seats. And probably in these smaller stores, we would offer the brunch menu and the dessert menu, drinks and retail, but not the full food menu, because that just keeps it operational. It allows you to focus on where the profits are, and you don't need the larger range of menu. But we can, if there's demand for it, we can work it out. It just needs bigger kitchen space. A Classico store is from about 2,500 square feet, so 232 square meters. And that's where we would start to offer all 4 of the menus. So the brunch menu, the food menu, the dessert menu, and the high tea and the fondues. And then the biggest sort of size of store is about 3,000 to 3,500 square feet. Even better if it's over a couple of different levels, because that brings, you know, more visual aspects to a store. So as you saw in Pakistan and now opening in Kuwait and a few of our stores in the UK, we have them over 2 levels, which means we can have a separate mocktail bar area. We can have a separate dessert area. We can have a design and decoration that goes between 2 floors, and it makes it even more exciting. We would offer all of the menus in Grande stores, and by the nature of their size, they have to be in prime or second prime locations that attract, obviously, a lot of footfall. And that's where you would be seating, you know, 100, 120 people in a store. And as I said, we work with a leading international designer. We design every face, every facet, every ceiling, every floor part of a restaurant, so that it is a high standard, so that it fits within the budgets of franchisees, sensible budgets, obviously, and so that each store considers how it's different from other stores. And our designer will work all the way through the process with you, right down to choosing materials, if that's, I mean, and dealing with issues with suppliers and stuff like that, if that's necessary. So, who is our target market? Well, our first motto is that we like to be inclusive. We like to attract all sorts of people into the store, but our typical range of customers is, you know, 17 to 44 years old, and obviously in the younger side of that, they're singles, they're groups of friends. It's the lunch or the evening out with friends. As we get to the older groups, then that's where we're attracting families, and we're an inclusive business. We want to, you know, desserts have a universal appeal to any age and any income bracket. The rest of the offering appeals to families because they can, because there's plenty on offer for everybody. The financial profile of the people we target might vary by different locations, but in the UK, it's sort of middle income to low affluent, I mean, we would attract the richest people. We will attract the poorest people. The experience is the thing. So some people might save up to come to us, and some people might come to us every day. Our typical customers are cosmopolitan or metro. They have experience or international aspirations. They want to try foods from around the world, and our menus would reflect that. We would, our typical menu will have things from different parts of the world and the locality. Very much we're after the Instagram generation. That's why all the design is there, the trendsetters, the people that want to show off. In the UK, our targets are our target locations are major shopping malls and prime locations. Really, we're just moving to prime locations now because we're popular enough to seek out the most prime locations. And the relationships we have with landlords in the UK will also help in terms of relationships with major landlords in India, certainly in terms of our experience, but also the sort of level of brands of landlords we deal with. In India, we're targeting metro cities, prime addresses, busy entertainment and dining locations, and again, Cosmo or metro or tourist footfall. There's nothing new there. That's what everybody's targeting for a premium restaurant. But the main thing is that we'll work with our partners in India and with franchisees to help make sure that people are choosing, the best locations for our business and the best sort of premises. Customers love us because they enter a world of 6-star luxury, but it's accessible. It's priced well enough for people to show off, but it's low enough to include a larger clientele. We welcome everybody like a celebrity. We want people to have that wow, to have that experience in terms of the service and in terms of the surroundings, and of course in terms of the food and drink. I've talked about the food. I'll take the time to show you a little bit of the menu. And again, people like us because of the Instagrammability of it. Moving more into the model, I won't get into numbers because the team in India will get into numbers. But to give you some idea of our focus in the business, so we kind of have like a good cop and bad cop in the business. The good cop is the people that love the design and the decoration and making things as excessive and as insane as possible and drawing in the most people with the way the place looks. The bad cop, the boring cop, is people like me who look at the profitability of the business and make sure that the focus is on operational standards and the way that we can make the most profit as well. So an example here is that we put a bit of magic into the menu. We have created menus based on a foundation of ingredients that are easy to stock, can be sourced locally. Some elements of them are frozen where it doesn't affect quality. Some elements are ambient. We've chosen really good ingredients, but ingredients that cause less waste. And then we share those ingredients in our menu to create the most sumptuous range, the illusion, if you like, of the biggest, most sumptuous range of dishes, but with the lowest possible waste and the lowest possible stock risk and the lowest possible food costs. So looking at these examples here, so for example, on our brunch menu, we have 3 dishes that use elements like the eggs and the way that they're presented and the way they're dressed and the bread. They're shared between several dishes. We have different ranges of fries. Well, obviously the fries are the same fries, whatever menu item they are, but they just got different toppings. but then those toppings are shared with burgers and other elements of our food, so that again we're minimizing waste, but giving the customer the experience of a wide range. And then in our desserts, when you see there's 3 desserts here, the French toast, the waffles, and the pancakes, they all share, apart from the base pancake, waffle, or French toast, the same ingredient. So all the way through the business, in terms of rationalizing the menu and ingredients, the way that we operate, the way that we manage waste, the way that we train people, and our manuals and processes are all about having an efficient operation that looks gorgeous on the one side, but underneath, however gorgeous it is, focuses on profit. So with our customers, we're very much about creating this relationship, keeping them coming back, turning them into raving fans. And there's different ways that we do that. We have quite an innovative loyalty scheme. When restaurants launch, we have promotions where we give out keys, and then people can bring the keys and they can exchange those for different benefits at the shop, and then turn those into loyalty cards. And then we take the key back and we use the key again. We have charm bracelets where people can, they get another charm as they move up through the loyalty, and that gives them more benefits and access to more events. All of our loyalty members don't just get the odd promotion or the odd percentage. We also work with franchisees to develop special days or special lunches or special dinners and special events and people visiting and occasions where only key holders, only loyalty members can get in. So that creates this community and buzz as well. And then, like any business, we are heavily engaged with social media. We're heavily engaged with other forms of online and visual marketing. We have great relationships with influencers, and because we have such a focus on the visual side of things, we have quite a lot of good experience in effective social media that really does draw people in. So there is an example of the charms if they're introduced to a particular restaurant. And like I say, we have a normal loyalty system which backs all of this up as well, which is the standard EPOS electronic loyalty system. And then we're also just as hot on wanting to support franchisees. So we work with international partners like Fran Global to offer local support. We offer some support directly depending on the market. And like any franchise you look at, they will tell you that they give you training and the manual and they give you this, that, and the other thing. The important thing is when a franchisee starts, between us and our international partners, we look after them. It's not as corny as bringing you into our family, really. What we want to do is bring another good business in that's going to be profitable. That's as important to us as it is to the franchisee investing in us. So we are fools to ourselves sometimes in going the extra mile to look after a new franchisee, as Hamza will attest. But we do it because we care about our franchisees. But the standard list, like anybody else will tell you, we have a very extensive training. We have 24-week programs here in the UK for different levels of staff, which may or may not be rolled out in India. We have manuals which are detailed right down to the nth degree, and there's over 1,000 pages of reference in the manuals. We have our store designer I talked about. We select the best equipment, meaning the best equipment for the operation of the restaurant, but also value for money, and not making franchisees buy equipment that they don't need. The same way we look at the menu and its ingredients, we look at the pots, the pans, the cookers, the chocolate fountains and everything else, to see where we can get the most value out of them by sharing the way that we make things, so that franchisees don't buy equipment they don't need or only use a little. We'll work with you and our international partners like Fran Global to find the best local suppliers. We'll adapt recipes to suit local ingredients. We'll introduce local dishes to a certain degree so that we've got that local community, that local wow as well. We use leading international software systems, leading food safety systems and procedures. And as I said, we respect every investor in our business. So that gives you a run through the business. Do I have a minute to show people the menu?
Yes.
Okay. So, second. Okay, can you see that?
Yes, we can see it.
Okay, let me just make it full screen. Okay. Okay, so I'll flip quickly through the menu just to give people a taste. And you know, once you open one, you can literally have a taste. But we want to tell a story. We want to give design through the menu as well. We want everything to be visual. So we want taste, we want impact, we want things to be visual. So we have a range of mocktails here. We have lemonades. You can see it on the screen. I'm going to whiz through it because it's, you know, a number of pages long. Different drinks. We want, again, this visual thing. We want to create this theatre with the drinks and the food. It may take a while. There's quite a lot on the menu, but that, I mean, again, it comes back to we can share a lot of ingredients to have a high impact menu. Okay, so here's our brunch menu. So again, you see how we are sharing things, we're presenting things. We want everything to come out on the plate as a wow. So we've got some traditional stuff and we've got some slightly different stuff. So we've got the eggs Benedict, but we also have shakshuka. We have our take on an English breakfast, which is kind of cool. That's a bit about the keys. The food menu is where we can adapt perhaps more than the brunch menu and the dessert menus to the locality. But here in the UK, these items are very popular. The jalapeno bites, which I very much like. Anything spicy, I like. Different types of salads, different types of fries. Ranges of burgers, and it's the same thing. You know, once you've got a burger, you've got a burger. It's just there's different toppings go on it, so you've got a good margin. Different ranges of sandwiches. Lots of extra toppings that people can put on burgers and sandwiches and things like that. We run parties and events in the stores as you would expect. And here are some of our desserts. We've got different ice creams, we've got different chocolates, we've got all kinds of different choices in terms of the ice creams, the toppings. Different ranges of cakes, different ranges of cheesecakes. All of these things will agree in the local market to make sure that everybody's got a range that works, not just a range that we tell them to have. We have the fondues with different choices on those. We have a very Instagrammable melting egg dessert that people love. We've got our different granola bowls. French toast, which I'm also quite partial to. I mean, the thing about Zoom is you can't really see me this down. I am huge because I love this food. Okay, we've got a French toast, we've got crepes, we've got waffles or croffles. And you can see we are trying to create a brand with every item on the menu. So we don't call it a waffle with caramel. It's caramel my heart, or irresistible urge, or whatever it is, so that the people identify with what we do, not just a crepe that somebody else does or a waffle that somebody else does. People will come in and say that they want a very berry. So pancakes, cookie dough, again, popular. Again, different cakes. And all kinds of things to drip on things and top on things and give people their own personal experience. Hamza knows I like a milk cake. When I go to the office, the head office, I do have a milk cake. And different sorts of classics. So a large range of things that we manage so that you've got a good food margin and the least food waste. I think I better end there, else Santosh won't have time to go through the financials. Thank you very much, everybody, for putting up with me droning on. And I look forward to questions later and perhaps meeting some of you in the future. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Stephen. This was a great presentation. I think sharing the menu really was, it was a great way to so it's a very, very extensive menu, but having worked in the industry, I know how dots are connected, that you're playing with very similar ingredients, but kind of having lots of options. And I can see that you have fries, which goes against the concept of a French bakery, but I understand why would you have it. So I think it's a great menu, and I don't think you have to change much for a market like that. Shouldn't. But yes, apart from like 7 to 8% of the menu is spot on.
Great. Thank you very much. Well, I didn't design the menu, I just eat it. So you'll have to thank Hamza and his team.
Of course, of course. So we'll quickly share. I know we are limited on time, but Santosh, let's give before I bring in Santosh, Hamza or Stephen, do you want to share what kind of partners we are looking for? Are we open for single multi-unit or only for area development or master franchise? Because that's an important part of the equation.
I think for us to look after people properly, we would like to work with people who are starting at least with a single unit so that we can focus on the single unit. But of course, we're open to all kinds of different opportunities. But if we're going to look after people properly, we're not going to open 20 of these all at once. We're going to look after individual setups, one or two in parallel at a time as we enter the Indian market. And then, of course, we'll ramp things up. So that doesn't really answer your question. A kind of both, but focusing on single units at least to start with.
And which brings the point of location. Santosh, you can put up your screen in the meantime. Anyone who I think in India that location part would be very, very critical. So if we want to meet people, I think they have to bring in the best location in wherever they want to open. Go ahead, Santosh.
Hello everyone. Thank you, Stephen, for the beautiful presentation that you did.
Thanks, Haute.
Hello friends. The franchisee model that is offered by Haute Dolci is franchisee and franchisee operated. Area requirement for India market is around 2,500 square feet, coming to around 232 square meters. In Indian currency, it is the investment is between 3.7 CR to 3.8 CR, which includes the franchisee fee, does not include the working capital. It includes the franchisee fee of 20 lakh rupees, which is roughly around 20,000 pounds. The royalty is around 5% of the total revenue. Agreement period will be 5 years. The investment break-even conservatively, okay, when we look at the conservative numbers of the business, it's between 2.4 to 2.6 years. And the ROI that can be expected on the conservative side, it is 260 to 270%. Within the area requirement, the area covers your serving area. It covers the serving area, it covers the kitchen and the utility as well. And the covers that we are looking at is around 120. Minimum number of tables would be 30, and it could, I mean, depending on the size of the outlet, okay, it could be more than 50. Initial rollout that Haute Dolci is looking at is metros and the tier 1 cities only, and the selected geographies if the property is very premium. So metros obviously includes your Mumbai and Delhi mega metros, Pune, Ahmedabad, Hyderabad, Bangalore, Chennai, and Kolkata. As Stephen mentioned over here, okay, we are looking at a unit franchisee model, and later on, based on the success of it, okay, we can look at the area developer or a master partner. So initially, for until the end of 24 months, okay, we are looking at tier 1 cities and the selected geographies nearby.
Okay, is that it, Santosh?
From the financial side, yes,
Okay.
but I can take questions, obviously.
Sure. So you can take this off. So I think it's the way Santosh has shown and brand has built the financial model is very, very simple. I should say if I look at this category, the build out cost, considering the store looks amazing, everyone saw those pictures. It's very reasonable. So about 3 odd crores, let's say a 3 odd crore investment.
2 crores actually 3.7 to 3.8 CR.
So about 4 odd. So about
Yes.
that's $500,000. And this will be the destination in any city you open. And the support, so which includes the training as well. Stephen and Hamza, are we training our the chefs here? Because the menu, of course, needs the way the presentation. I know it's not a complicated menu, but how it is presented, that training is part of the franchise fees.
Yes, this is something that we're going to be working with yourselves with. Yeah.
So
Okay.
that's what is already included in the investment as well, the training part of it.
And how, Hamza, how do you crack on the location part? Because in our kind of markets, that's a critical thing to get that location. So how would you work with potential partners from a location standpoint in a new market?
So obviously leaning on the experience of the team at Fran Global as well and the connections there, it's very important that we're hitting the best locations in the areas, the most prime, to make it very destination and establish it as a brand very much from the start. So we're not looking for tier 2 locations, we're looking for the prime of prime. So this will be identified with the respective investors within their areas of where's the best places that we need to be, and collectively we need to work to achieve that.
I think I would agree to that. So I think since this is a exceptional case where the brand is open for single or double unit kind of a deal, but it all boils down to the location you bring in. So I think if you want to reach out to us after this session, or if you watch the session later, if you have the best location in the city, then I guess that would be a deal maker or a breaker. The investment overall, I think with a cover of 120 is fairly decent. I would say even open a bigger one because it will be full on Thursdays, Fridays, Saturday, Sunday. So you can have a throughput of about 150 odd people easily. Remember, there's no alcohol in it. So you don't need to worry about the licenses. It looks very family friendly. So you can bring families, you can bring your colleagues, you can bring your friends. So a place where you don't have to think twice to kind of, be there. So I think, and are you looking for someone for whom this might be the first hospitality business, or only operators?
I mean, it's very important that someone has an understanding on how, hospitality works and the operation. So in an ideal world, a little bit of the initial experience would be necessary.
Yeah, I mean, I think I'd go on to qualify that a little bit further and say, if the franchisee is an investor franchisee who will employ an operations director or an operations manager that will oversee the setup of the business and then become the general manager of the first store that the franchisee owns, then that works for us if that operations manager has got F&B experience. What doesn't work if nobody in the franchisee has any F&B experience. So if an investor doesn't employ somebody who has F&B experience, that doesn't work because there's too much to learn to train somebody anew. But certainly an investor can have zero F&B experience as long as they employ the right people.
I agree, and I think in India that is more of a fact. And you work in markets like Kuwait and Pakistan. I think it's something very similar there. Someone who would invest $1 million or $500,000 in any project, they typically have other things going on. But I agree. I think you can never build a brand successfully unless you are someone from your family or you are involved in it. So we do a lot of deals with real estate operators, real estate developers. I think they have this ability to bring in the talent, but at least one person from the family is part of the business. So I guess that's how I think this needs to be integrated. I agree to that. And so I think this model is simple. Having brought so many brands in the category to the country, I really feel that there's a big opportunity for a brand like Haute Dolci. You're working with the founders directly, founding team, and who are really sort of aggressive and sincere in terms of what they want to do with the brand. This is a combination of French and Italian cafes, but founded by a completely different set of people, and the kind of job they are doing. You see the interiors. The quality is just top notch. But you see the menu. You see this so versatile because it's built for millennials. It's built for the younger generation who are like people like Hamza, who are young, who are smart, who travel well.
He's not that young.
Sorry, thank God, yes. No, you and I are old.
Thanks, Venus. That's great.
The world belongs to them. No, I think India has 60% of people who are under the age of 28. So, and these are the people who are consuming. These are the people who are traveling. They understand. They're very friendly, tech savvy. So I think the way the brand is built is much more, I would say, it is more inclusive, if I can find the right word. And I think that is so important. It has happened with so many things in our part of the world. Like it was the same thing has happened with the Japanese food. Same thing has happened with many other cuisines. So I think what you are doing is very interesting, and I don't see any challenges in terms of bringing the brand to India. Your supply chain doesn't look like it's going to be very tough. There are some very good suppliers who are operating in this sector. Yes, I think brand is going to be working with the partner to do the graphics and everything and training. But I think the location is that piece and the investment is that piece which the investor needs to bring in. And if that is there, Frank Global is here working with the brand. We are looking to get calls from people who already understand this category. We are not a quick service. We are we're efficient in terms of our economics, but it is a cafe. It is perceived as luxury. So we need someone who understands what kind of brand and business is this. And if that is the case, reach out to us. I've left my number. You can visit our website also, our social media handles. They're everywhere. Let's have a chat. If it all works out, then we will organize your meeting with the brand. Before we go, anything to add, Stephen and Hamza?
No, I only to thank everybody for turning up and listening to us all, and to thank your teams there in India for looking after us in the presentation.
Okay.
And same from my side. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for your time, and I hope to interact with you soon.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, everyone. And you have a good day. Have a great weekend. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.